been, with all of us who managed to make our way up this hierarchy of the profession, it's always been there to lend support, to say, you want to go out and have a drink? It's always there. How many of you weren't born in 1971? Some of you weren't even born in 1971. And the forma throughout all this time has struggled for scholarships with the chapters. How many are there? 19?
19.
Scholarships? I'm really proud to say the LA chapter has one in my name, and I like that. What my has, and what is probably the most important to us is respect. We're through the door. We managed to make it through the door. So respect is what we really wanted. Because without that, all these other things are but footnotes in a book. So, respect and voice are what I think is so important to everyone. And when I look at the next 40 years, because Molly said you wouldn't be here, I won't be here either at that time, although my spirit will be here too. But what do we want? Do we still want those same things that Joe Rosso asked me for in 1970? Spanish-speaking librarians, collections, inclusion in programs and service. The same thing when I was putting this together. My God, it's been 41 years and we're still with the same thing. Why is it so difficult? Why is it so hard? Because we haven't been able to get enough of that embedded within the schools. Why isn't this taught in graduate library schools? It's not. Knowledge River, yes. Thank you. Knowledge River is one of the few. Knowledge River. So the reality, the truth is I have to see that because I can't keep going unless I know what the landscape is. Unless I know what the reality is from my cultural lens. So when I look at the next 40 years of Reforma, what will inspire us to do what? What will our world look like in 40 years? This country's going to be Latinized. This country's going to have at least half the population is going to be Latino. There's no question about that. And what does that mean? What does that mean? I was looking at trying to figure out, just some statistics in terms of our profession, and I'm thinking, well, we know, ALA knows, that the librarian profession has been 90% white since the 1940s when we first started keeping track. 90% white. Still, today, still today, spectrum has to, quadruple. Reforma has to. Do you know how many librarians we would have to graduate every year that are Latino Spanish speaking, serve the Latino community? Do you know how many we'd have to graduate every single year between now and then to serve the population then of half Latino? Mm-hmm. If we use a comparison of white to a dominant society, that's 1,875 a year, every year. And how many did we graduate this year? How many? 25? 20? 25? So we would need about 75,000 Latino Spanish-speaking librarians in the next 40 years to serve our population. 75,000. And we have 1,000 today, after 40 years. We have a lot of work to do. Some of you young ones have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of work to do because soon it's going to be 2012. Our quinto sol. our time. Soon it'll be our time to start anew. A new voice, a louder voice. An actress once told me, Debbie Allen was telling me this, but librarians have to speak loud. They need to speak loud. Like Sandra, who speaks loud. We need to speak loud. We need that influence in academia. We need the deans and the faculty because it doesn't seem to happen. I'm sorry, it doesn't seem to happen any other way. We need the librarians because I'm sorry, it doesn't seem to happen any other ways. It just doesn't. We know that from 40 years experience. And yet, what wouldn't have happened if Reforma hadn't been here? What wouldn't have happened if Reforma hadn't been here to walk that door, to request our funds, to get those scholarships, to recruit? Where would we be? So what's the vision for the next 40 years? From my perspective, it's still the same as it was 40 years ago. It's still the same. It's still about people, all people, but especially our people. Because, como dijo la señora, creen que somos boys. It's about our people. It's about the people we are, the people we serve, and we're a service profession. It's about the people we support, the people who make a difference between one decision and another decision, one policy and another policy, one allocation of funds and another allocation of funds. Those are very real changes. It's still about the people who have the voice of the Latino bilingual bicultural community. Still about the people that make decisions that impact our daily life, regardless of who we are. You know, we overtook ketchup with salsa. We can certainly do that. That was the number one condiment in the country. Let's feed them. Brain, mind. So, as a reformista, being a reformista always just reinforced something my grandmother always told me. I hear it sometimes, we all do, but dime con quién andas, te diré quién eres. Dime con quién andas, te diré quién eres. Tell me who you walk with, who you're with, who you associate with, and I'll tell you who you are. We're Reforma. We know who we are. We're reformistas. We are here to reform, to change. We are all about reform. Yeah, we can have fun. Yeah, we can. We can have fun. But we're first and foremost reformistas. We're here with a purpose. And our purpose is to reform the library profession and serve our communities with Spanish-speaking bilingual librarians and librarians. That's who we are. It hasn't changed. That's from the beginning. That's who we are today. So it's about our people. It's time to celebrate our people. It's time to celebrate Reforma. Sí se puede, right? We can do it. So let's celebrate our 40 years and then Reformistas for the next 40 years. Mil gracias.